Hello, AI peeps. My name is Rachel McIntyre. I'm a current graduate with a bachelor's degree in media arts and animation, and I am coming to you to speak about my personal experience as a student at the SIGGRAPH conference. I've attended it twice so far as an attendee, and this year I am going to be a student volunteer. It's an awesomely huge event, and it can be really, really overwhelming and daunting and lonely if you kind of approach it cold. And my goal is basically to tell you what I've learned so you don't make the same mistakes, and then hopefully you're a little bit more prepared and further along once you come to one of these conferences. So, shall we get started? What the heck is SIGGRAPH? Well, let's look at the organization's mission. Their mission is to strive to be the premier community and catalyst for creation, promotion, and dissemination of information on computer graphics and interactive techniques. To understand SIGGRAPH, one must know about ACM. So, once upon a time, the Association for Computing Machinery was formed. ACM was comprised of smaller groups called Special Interest Committees. In 1967, the members started holding seminars on interactive computer graphics. The demand for the seminars and the technology expanded. So someone said, "Hey, I think we should revisit our name to reflect these changes." And they did. ACM altered its name from just ACM to ACM Special Interest Committee in Graphics, or SIGGRAPH. 2 years later, someone said, I'm really not feeling that committee in our name. And the members were like, yeah, okay, whatevs. And changed the name from Special Interest Committee to Special Interest Groups. Thus, SIGGRAPH was born. Later, the seminars morphed to conferences, and in 1974, the first annual conference was held in Boulder, Colorado. The growth continued to expand overseas. In 2008, Singapore held the first SIGGRAPH Asia Conference. In conclusion, the official name as it is today of the organization is the Association for Computing Machinery's Special Interest Groups on Computer Graphics and Interactive Techniques. To be clear, ACM SIGGRAPH is the group that holds the conference. So if you're a member, which I suggest that you become, you would be a member of ACM SIGGRAPH. Okay? Cool. They hold 2 conferences a year, one in North America and the other in Asia. This year, the North American portion will be held in Los Angeles, while the Asian portion will be held in Bangkok. For the purpose of this video, I'll be focusing on the Los Angeles conference because LA is up the street from me and Thailand is not. These events do change venue from year to year, but it should be also noted that LA does seem to host this event the most. In the past 20 years alone, this is going to be their 10th time hosting, so just FYI. What the conference consists of. This is where the juggernauts of the industry come to play, and the tone of this event is industry professional, so this is not Comic-Con, folks. So leave the costumes and all the cosplay at home. Attention parents! Good news and bad. Children are allowed to attend, but their age will also determine the cost of entry, and they will most likely be restricted to enter a few areas, not so much for content, but more than likely for safety reasons. In the exhibit hall, for example, there are tons of power cords that are running along the floor, and not exactly a conducive area for kids to run around. Also, with the VR village, you're going to have tons of people walking about with their vision compromised while they're wearing their goggles. So, if a little person were to scamper in those areas, bad things can occur. So, yes, again, kids are allowed, but remember that this event is really catered to industry professionals. The exhibit hall is where the heavy hitters come to show their really latest and greatest of their products. And there are a lot of companies that you already know, including Autodesk, Pluralsight. I even heard Facebook is going to be there, and Unity. And of course, this year they're really going to expand on the virtual realities. So VR is definitely in. Panels and papers. So for me, this is like one of my favorite things to do is to attend these talks, because this is where both students and professionals from all disciplines of computer graphics comes together and discusses what they found throughout the year. It could be problem solving with the production, or maybe they discovered a more efficient way to do a process like rendering. And the fact that they are willing to share, just for me, it warms my heart and, well, gives me a reason to really geek out. Computer Animation Festival. Okay, so this is really cool. This is where you celebrate the works of others. And they do have it divided into different categories. There is a category for students. So if you have a group that wants to come together and create some sort of film, go ahead and do it. Just, adhere to the guidelines, and deadline is around March. They're also accepting VR now, so you can even do that. And the really, really cool thing is some of these works actually go on to get nominated for an Oscar, and you get to see it before most of the general public. So take a look. Student research competition. If you have an original research topic that you'd like to explore and share your findings with the community, this is it. It seems to be geared towards like those with an analytical and engineering mind, which isn't me, so I shied away from it. But if that is you, do it. You can win awards, you can win opportunities to meet prominent researchers in your field, and also an all expense trip paid for a really cool banquet. Networking events. As it turns out, the majority of the networking doesn't even happen at SIGGRAPH. It happens at events that are held in conjunction with the conference off-site. So there could be numerous amount of events happening. And in order to find that, I guess the best place would be to start with social media. This is going to be my first attempt at trying to find these events, so stay tuned. Just a word of caution to those students who are under the age of 21. These parties, they do have alcohol at them, and I highly advise you not to try to drink while being underage. Number one, it's illegal, but number two, you don't want to appear that you have a disregard of authority, and also a disregard of people having to become liable for your actions in front of potential employers. That is a very bad precedent that you want to show, so please don't, and know that your time will come.